Hello friends, welcome to I Made Me Think. Welcome back to this exciting video series tutorial on machine learning related Python programming. And so let's get started. So continuing with the earlier session, so the agenda will be again to continue with Python basic variable types, list, dictionary, tuple, array, simple matrix programming. So let's get started. So I'm using Spider software installed on Ubuntu, and let's get started. So let's see the list type first. So these are the simple list types. So list A, so it contains not only a single type of variable but multiple type of variables. So it has a hex number, it has a string into two. So double string basically a simple operation, and then negative number, some empty element, and again some element. So let's get started. So list. So if I want to run this code, so I will just select a snippet of code, and I will control enter, or I will press on this. So basically a list and print. So list has printed. Okay, let me just clear the console. Yeah, and now I want to access a particular element, not the cut of the string, but I want to access a particular element of a list. So fifth element will be this fifth element. Okay, now count from the right. So let's just run this first. So negative index list a of 4, a of list of minus 4. So it is basically list of a of minus 4. So it is basically counting from the right. So I'm counting it from the right for this element, this string. So this minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and minus 4. So dd into 2. So that is what it has printed, a string dd and dd. Okay, now a of 5 is 5. So I am a control enter. So I am assigning a new data type to fifth element. Earlier it was a string called fifth element. Now assigning it a number. So I'm converting the fifth element from string to number, which is possible. And now if I'm accessing it, let's see what happens. Again it will show. So it is allowed. Okay, now I'm doing an insert. So let's say insert, and let's just also print it also. So insert is basically I'm inserting at what position, so sixth position, and I'm inserting a value called 6.6. So when I access sixth element, it will show 6.6, which is fine. Now also I'm now appending a number at seventh position, which is also fine. So I'm appending a number, a float number, which is a math operation, 7.7 into 2, that is 15.4. Now I am trying to access list elements. So basically I can access, I can strip, and I can access individual variables, or a list of elements, and similar. So basically what I'm saying here is I want to access list element up to index number 2. So basically starting index is blank, or we can say it as default, that is 0. So default it starts from 0th element and continues up to second element. So now if you see, first two elements are printed. Now starting index is 2 and ending index is blank, so which is at the end of the string. So if I just print it, so starting from index number 2 to until end, which is fine. Now here also similar example, but I'm so explicitly specifying list starting index as 0. So it will start from 0 and up to the third element. So up to the, I mean, total 3 elements. So 0, 1, 2. So 3 elements are printed here, accessed here. Now I'm doing a concatenation. So I'm adding another, or I would say appending another list to this list in this print statement. So if I run this, so if you see a total list of earlier elements and this new elements 1 2 3 4 is printed, but note that list A is not affected. List A is without this. So basically this addition or appending operation is only for this print statement. Let's just print it once again. So list A, so again it has remained the same, it has not added 1 2 3 4. Okay, let me just clear the console. Yeah, now let's proceed. So list inside another list, this is just an example. So list in and list out, list in and list out, so just print it. So now list in is having only two elements, list out is having list out has another list inside it, so it should have four elements. So list in, this is list in, and list inside another list. So again, so if you see, it has used another list inside this list, but note that uh, this is a list, this is not an uh, uh, I would say this is not a continuous element, this is a list. So again, this is a list of list inside a list. Okay, different list pointing to the same list. So first of all, let us clear the console. Different list pointing to the same list. Okay, so what is list A? List A is having, say, multiple type of elements, which is fine, and list B, so I'm executing this. So list B is pointing to list A. So now list B, control enter. So list B is also the same, it is pointing to the same list. Now I am changing the fifth element to number 55. Now for using list B, which is pointing to the same list, so eventually what should happen is list A should also get changed. Yeah, so list A is also changed because list A and list B are pointing to the same set of elements. So if you change it using list B, any of the element, that you can access it using list A, which is fine. Delete list member. Delete a list member. So length of list A. So list A we saw earlier. So list A length is 6 elements, which is fine. Now I want to delete say last element, for example, or the element with index number 5. So I've deleted that list from list A, and now if I'm trying to access the fifth element, it gives me an error because list is out of index, because now the list length is changed. Now let us run this code. So now if you see, the list length is 5. So if you want to access the the fifth element, the fifth element is not here because it starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So fifth element is out of index. Now let's just print it again. Now if you see, there are only 5 elements. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So fifth element is out of index. List set. So set is basically normally used to remove the duplicates. So list C is some random numbers, and now if I do a set operation on the list C and assign it back to list C, which is fine. Now if I'm trying to access list C, yeah, so now if you see here, there are two duplicates, number 5 and number 5. So if you see here, the number 5 is removed. So that is the operation using list set on the list. Now if we can just see what is the type of the variable. So it has become a set now, because earlier list C was list, now it has become a set. Some of the set operations we will see. So list, okay, let's just clear the console. Yeah, so list 1 2 3 4, list 1 2 3 4, I'm printing it, which is fine. So list 1 is some number and string, list 2 is also list 3, and list 4, okay, some combination. Now if I do a set on list 1, so now if you see, so it has removed the duplicates, and it has arranged it in some order, which is also fine. Now if I do a AND operation on list 1 and list set 1 and set 2. So list 1 and list 2. So now if you see, these two are and resulting what we will see is so 1 is this is duplicate, so 1 is removed, 3.3 is also removed. So it has taken all the common, so we can, because we have done a AND operation on set of list 1 and list 2, so it has removed this number 15 and only 3 elements because it's an AND operation. Similarly, we have OR operation, less than and greater than. So let's see what is OR operation. So in OR operation, it has concluded, it has added all the elements and removed the duplicates. Now less than operation is, so this is basically a comparison of if set of list 1 is less than, so number of elements in list 1 are less than in list 4, which is false, because so list 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, and list 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So yeah, so this 4 is less than 4. So 4 is not less than 4, that is why it is false. So again, if you compare it in a reverse fashion, again it is false, because this will give you 4. 4 is not less than 4. Now a subtraction operation. So list 1 of set of list 1 and set of list 4. So just remove the elements which are there in list 4, set of list 4 from set of list 1. So 2 and 55. Similarly, 4 minus 1 operation. So get the element with with maximum and minimum criteria. So here criteria is the numerical value. So now let's run this list math. So it has some numbers, which is good. Now I want to know the minimum value of elements based on the criteria called numerical value. So remember, we can set different criteria also. So by default, if the numbers if the list has string, the list has numbers, then it will take the numerical lowest value, minimum value, and the max value. Okay, now list element sorting. So I have this list math, which is the earlier one. Now if I do a sorted operation, so it will give me the sorted, it will sort all the elements based in ascending order by default. Again, if I do a same list, and if I want to do it in reverse order, so I have to say reverse equal to true, so it will take it in a reverse fashion. Okay, list math dot sort. So now here in this method, using this method, sorted list will print a list in sorted order, but it will not update, it will not change the existing list. Now here when you call this explicit method, then it will sort it basically in ascending order if I have not specified anything. Okay, so now if you see, again the same thing. Now if I run the reverse fashion, so let's start reverse true, and then if I trying to print it, yeah, so now it was in the reverse fashion. So list append, extend, insert, and reverse. So let's say I have a list temp and list methods. So the temp is this and methods is this. So methods has some elements. So string, number, float number, again string, and some number, and a sub list. So a list has one sub list. Okay. Now if I want to append in an integer to this list, I have to use list append. Okay, and now if I want to print it, control enter. So if you see at the end, it has appended the number which is specified here. Now if I want to count the occurrence of a particular element, how many times it has repeated in the entire list. So control enter. So yeah, it has occurred 2 times, because if you see 2 times it is here. Now I want to, so append is one and extend is one. So let's run this extend, and after extend, control enter. Yeah, so now I have extended this list method which is here with list temp. Now, so if you see in the, when you extend it, the elements are, these elements are added here directly at the end. Remember this 555 we have added as an append here and then extend. So if you want to, let's say, add another list elements in the parent list, use the method called extend. Now if you want to see the index of, what is the index of a particular element, so if I want to see the index of particular this, then I can specify, or if I want to specify the index of another list, so just this is the, I want to know at what index, because this list has multiple elements, so at what index this sublist is occurring. So that is done using the index and list temp. So yeah, this one. Yeah, so this is at index number 5, which is good. Now the difference between append and extend. So now if you see, now list methods index temp list. Yeah, because what has happened is list temp, when you extend it, what happens is the elements from this list are directly getting added as in the, yeah, so these are the elements, which the elements are getting added, and that those are, once they are added, those are considered as elements. Now those are not considered as a a list, because so this is this sub list here. Okay, so this main list, the list methods, has multiple elements, and it has one sub list, and it has two elements added as element using extend. So now what happens is, once the new elements are added from another list, these elements are considered as element and not as a sub list. Yeah, so now when we look for, when we are looking for the index of another sublist, that will not be present, because that sublist is converted into elements and just added. So this is the I would say this is the beauty of using extend. So if we want to add elements of another list into parent list as just the elements and not as a sublist, you can use extend. And now this is a simple way to see what is the index of a particular element. So this is at index 1, which is fine. Now if I want to insert something at a position, so I'm using the method called insert at x position and insert this particular element, which is a string. Now after inserting at index number 1, so this is inserted 1, this is which is inserted here. Now reverse, so it will it will consider the list as reverse, and the list is automatically converted as reverse. So if you see, the inserted one, the dummy one, is appearing at the last. Now how to convert tuple to list. So in Python we will see in the next series what is tuple and what is dictionary. So how to convert a tuple to list. So tuple is specified using this, so opening and closing brackets, round brackets, and this so now if I want to convert it, this is using this method called list and inside tuple. So this will convert a tuple to a list. Now dictionary to list. So dictionary is basically a key value pair. We will see in the next series, next session. So this is a dictionary. So I'm just printing a dictionary here. So this is a dictionary, and now I'm trying to see what are the keys. So these are the list keys. These are the this is just the list of keys, and this is just the list of values. So key, this is a key, this is a key, this is a key, and this is a value. This is a value, sorry, this is a value, this is a value, and this is a value. So again, I'm getting a list of all the keys and list of all the values. Now so all the items, I'm getting all the items here, and then list of all the items. Now if you see, each item, each key value pair is converted into a tuple and then added as a list member. So now if you see, this is first element, second element of the converted list from a dictionary, and this is the third element. So you can convert all the keys from a dictionary as a list, all the values from the dictionary as a list, or all the items from the dictionary in the list. So that's all for this video, guys. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section, and please like, comment, and share my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.